Hello there, welcome to CNR Extra here on CCTV, coming to you live from our studios at number 5, Ola Hansen Lane, Tesano, Accra. My name is Philip Ni Latte. Coming up. Government initiates processes to evacuate Ghanaians trapped in South Sudan following troubles in that country. Police arrest alleged killer of 26-year-old woman murdered in Edum in the Ashanti region. Still to come on CNR Extra, the ruling NPP elect Ernest Yao Enim as parliamentary candidate to contest vacant Kumeu seat.
Based on the results, we hereby declare Ernest Yao Enim as the elected parliamentary candidate.
I know my people believe in me, and they are committed to ensuring that we work together as one unit. I believe that once we work as a unit, victory will be our portion.
And properties worth thousands of Ghana cedis destroyed in recent tidal waves that hit Anglong area of the Volta region.
It's out of control. And before I realized that the whole place got flooded and the rooms were full. I have to quickly get friends to help me to take the mattress, the bed, everything that is in the room.
Once again, you're welcome to the holiday edition of CNR Extra here on CCTV. You can join us with your thoughts, submissions, and comments via WhatsApp line 0204447033. And you can also join us on YouTube as we stream there live on CityTube. Ni Latte Latte, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Philip, and happy 8 to you.
Are you still receiving the meat?
No, not yet.
Oh,
I'm hoping I'm going to receive it by close of day.
By close of day.
For my Muslim friends.
Exactly. Let's bring the very first story in. Government has initiated processes to evacuate Ghanaians trapped in South Sudan following troubles in that country. Let's bring in that insert.
It has activated processes to evacuate Ghanaians living in the Sudan. The Northeast African country has been a center for a deadly conflict the past few weeks between the Sudanese armed forces and the parliamentary rapid support, leading to the death of several civilians. This fighting is the latest episode in bouts of tension that followed the ousting of long-serving President Omar al-Bashir in 2019. According to a statement by the Foreign Affairs Ministry, government is working to ensure the safety of every Ghanaian living in Sudan. Here are excerpts of the statement read by Charles Owusukumi.
In the past 1 week, the Republic of the Sudan has been gripped by a deadly conflict between the Sudanese armed forces and the paramilitary rapid support forces, resulting in avoidable casualties. Khartoum, the capital, has been the epicenter of the clashes, with civilians being most affected. A number of Ghanaian nationals, particularly students, have been affected by the conflict. Ghana's honorary consulate in Khartoum reports that all of our nationals are safe. The Ghana Embassy in Cairo, Egypt, which has the concurrent accreditation to the Sudan, working closely with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration and the honorary consulate, are coordinating the evacuation of our nationals, and plans are currently underway to secure their safe passage to Ethiopia. Government wishes to assure the general public, in particular the families and acquaintances of Ghanaians in the Sudan, that every effort is being made to ensure the safety of their loved ones until their arrival in Ghana.
So that's a good initiative by government, at least that an evacuation process has begun following the deadly conflict in Sudan, and that is between the Sudanese armed forces and the paramilitary rapid support forces in that particular country. But I think that once the government has given us assurance that Ghanaians will be evacuated and brought back to this country, following what is happening there. It's a good initiative.
Rightly so, and looking at the level
and the consulate
of,
also stating that everybody is safe in there.
Exactly, as per the statement that they issued yesterday. And so we all know that this particular conflict didn't start now. It started years ago, and Sudan, for example, has been a hub of, military, conflict. And so for this particular instance, if a lot of countries are actually pushing for evacuation of their citizens, it should tell you that you are at a very volatile stage. And so you see a number of European countries, for example, trying to evacuate their citizens in the conflict-hit country, just as like Ghana is also doing. They are trying to move all citizens, particularly students, we are told, to Ethiopia before they are finally brought here in Ghana. And so we want to commend the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration for ensuring that this particular process has become, because it's usually the last resort for countries when they realize that things are getting really out of hand in, troubled nations. And so it is not as if there's going to be any ceasefire now. Truce have been called, but it's not seeing the light of day. And we can take our minds back to when the Russia-Ukraine war happened, for example. You see how a lot of Ghanaians were stranded, they were frustrated. Even with the evacuation process, you could realize that there were a number of challenges that confronted many of them. And so we're just hoping that this particular evacuation process will be made smooth, so that Ghanaians who are found wanting in Sudan will be able to find, safe spaces to ensure that we protect lives and properties. And so this is what we have on our hands now. And so the Foreign Affairs Ministry, very swift response, prompt action, of course. We just want to hope that the process will be made in a manner that everyone will be safe.
Exactly. So once government has made frantic efforts to evacuate the Ghanaians there, that is good news, and we pray that all fire will cease in Sudan. That is what we would call from here in Ghana. Away from this story, but still on issue on police or security, the police have arrested the police officer in the murder case of the 26-year-old lady at Edum in the Ashanti region.
Police have arrested a police officer, Inspector Ahmed Chumesi, who is alleged to have shot and killed a female adult who was believed to be his girlfriend. The shooting incident occurred in Kumasi in the Ashanti region on Thursday, 20th April 2023. The suspect, who has been on the run since the incident, was arrested at Setre, near Efijase in the Ashanti region, as a result of a special police operation which was launched. The suspect is currently in police custody and will be put before court to face justice.
So the family of the deceased, that is affectionately known or popularly known as Majwa, is excited about this development coming from the police. Again, the family is also asking that they want some security situation in the area to be intensified, and that they should be given some security protection in their house or whenever they move around, following whatever has happened there. But this brings the issue of self-control. We've not really gone into the issue. The court hasn't really brought about the issue. So right now, the individual who have been arrested remains a suspect. But when it comes to issues of the shooting, as of when the incident happened, it brings about self-control. We know that a lot of people may have gone into certain situations that they are unable to control themselves, and it ends up in this particular case.
And this is actually not the first time we are recording such an incident. We know that this kind of, spousal killings, if I may want to put it that way, boyfriend, girlfriend, people in dating relationships, courting, and even married couples, you realize that there are times that disagreement and misunderstandings will lead to such, situations. And for me, more worrying is the fact that when we hear that security agents are part of this particular issue, it raises a lot of concern for me. And so it brings to mind the level of, control, as you said, and also the kind of protocols for these security agents when they are out of office or out of duty, how they are able to handle their, security accoutrement and all that. Because look, if you look at the video that went viral, you realize that it was in a very brazen manner. He was having a conversation with a lady. All of a sudden, you realize that he began shooting her in close range, not for once, not for twice, but for multiple times. And you realize that I don't really know what the issue is, but first, let me commiserate with the bereaved family. We express our sympathies to them. We know that it's a very difficult moment for them, and like you mentioned, they are asking for security and support because they have actually said that some persons have actually besieged the community, and they suspect that it's because of the arrest of this particular police officer. The inspector, we are made to understand. The inspector has misconducted himself, and we must condemn it in no uncertain terms. It's so wrong for you to take the law into your own hands. Not only that, but to take the life of somebody you are actually in a relationship with for whatever reason, no matter what. It was so wrong for him to do so. And so for me, I'm just expecting that the security agencies, the police itself, will take the bull by the horns and then ensure that this particular issue is put to trial. And then the gentleman in question is made to face the full rigors of the law. Because usually when these things happen and they are left unchecked, you realize that it keeps recurring and then nothing is being done. And so people will just be misbehaving there. But I don't know for what reason.
And especially in this case, like you indicated earlier, it has to be with a security officer. I'm sure in their training, they are being given some sort of training to control themselves. Because if you should enter into crowd control or there should be some sort of a chaotic incident and you have to go there, you should as well try and control yourself, not to go firing like what is being done in this case.
It's interesting how when people want to get into the security agencies, a lot of background checks are made when they are empty. But when they are done, after commissioning, you don't even know if these checks are done to ensure that people are in the right state of mind, people conduct themselves.
And this brings us to what the Ghana Mental Association, the authority, the mental authority brought out when the issue of the suicide case issue was decriminalized, and came out that this is something that has been on the table for a very long time. So if you have issues as a police officer or a military person or even the ordinary citizen, you can as well seek for mental health
well,
care.
It's actually
it will be given to you.
An issue of human resources. So I mean, human resource managers in organizations, especially state ones, of course, you may want to commend the private ones for doing one or two things, but for those who find themselves in public or state agencies, I don't know if such things are done. Because look, people come to the workplace with issues from the home,
a lot of issues.
People also go home with issues from the workplace. So I mean, we have to find a fine balance, because I do not think that for whatever reason somebody you are in love with will do whatever to you and then you decide to take the life of that particular person just like that. We have to, so it's a two-way affair. While we look at the mental state of persons, you must also ensure that in worst case scenarios, if these things happen, people are made to pay for it, because we can't just allow for the sake of it and say that this particular police officer should be left off the hook. No, it shouldn't happen that way, because for whatever reason, he is someone in authority. He had guns, he had weapons, and so he decided to make bad use of it. It shouldn't be entertained at all, because look, this is somebody's daughter, a relative of a particular family, which I believe that they adore and cherish so much. For all you know, she might even be the breadwinner of the family, and you taking away the life of such a person will go a long way to affect, the livelihoods of, the dependents thereof. And so, for me, let's look at, issues at the workplace. Let's try as much as possible to ensure that persons working within organizations are of sound mind. Their health state is one that is prioritized. Even as we say that when they misconduct themselves or misbehave, they should be made to face the music.
Exactly. So now that the individual has been arrested, we know the police will proceed with whatever process that have to be done after this particular issue, and that the family is also asking that, well, they should be given some sort of security protection. We hope that the police also heed to their calls and do the needful. Still in the Ashanti region, because the NPP has elected Ernest Yao Enim as the PC going into the by-elections in the Koru constituency.
Governing New Patriotic Party has elected Ernest Yao Enim as its parliamentary candidate for the upcoming by-election at Kumewu in the Ashanti region. City News' Ashanti regional correspondent Hafiz Tijani reports.
Following the unfortunate demise of the MP for the area, the MPP opened nominations for 8 parliamentary primaries at Kumewu. Subsequently, 8 persons initially showed interest to contest the seat. After the vetting, 3 of the aspirants withdrew from the race. Kwame Apiakubi, Abuaji da Costa, Amasewa, Ernestiao Enim, and Kwame Osei Bempa were the remaining 5 aspirants in the contest. Party bigwigs and supporters trooped to the voting center on Sunday amidst heavy police presence. National organizer of the MPP, Henry Nanabuache, is confident the party will retain the seat.
We've met the entire polling station, electoral area executives. And in that meeting, you could see that there was a leader from this faction, a leader from this faction. They all spoke, and it was very symbolic. All of them hugged. And at the end of the meeting, I have received so many calls, people saying that, oh, organizer, what you came to do was very good. It's very calm so far. All of us, we are working together. So that alone was good. Afterwards, we've done a lot of individual talks because there were some opinion leaders within these factions. And so far, I can boldly tell you that Kumewu constituency is very peaceful, is very calm. And I believe that the aftermath of Honorable Baswa's death, that is what the constituency wants. And even he himself, I'm sure wherever he is now, he's going to be happy how the entire constituency is being united and coming together for this particular exercise.
Here is the Electoral Commission announcing the results after the internal contest.
Onya 10 votes. Da Costa Abuaji Onya 27 votes. Amasewa Onya 181 votes. Ernestiao Enim Onya 195 votes. Osei Kwame Bempa Onya 5 votes. Total votes no year 418 and 1 vote ye rejected here. Enti enipa to abani nyina 419. Based on the results, no, we hereby declare Ernestiao Enim as the elected parliamentary candidate.
I know my people believe in my vision, and my vision is to bring everyone together. And I believe that as we are committed to ensuring peace, everybody following me will be shipped in line, and we would all come together and understand that this victory is not just for Ernestiao Enim or my group, but for everybody who is a party member of our great party here.
How difficult will this journey be going into the by-election?
I know my people believe in me, and they are committed to ensuring that we work together as one unit. I believe that once we work as a unit, victory will be our portion.
For the losers, the aim is to maintain the seat for the MPP, hence their commitment to ensure same.
Well, I think we almost do, it's clear. But we'll wait for the official declaration, but it looks like the lines are drawn. And congrats to him.
What will be the next step after?
So we will support him. We will support him. Whoever wins will support him.
It was a good experience. I mean, it's my first time, and I think I made a little bit of impact, but all the best to Ernest, and we will all support him to take the seat to retain the seat. So congratulations to Ernest.
Ashanti Regional Chairman of the MPP, Bernard Enchibo-Siakun, is confident the MPP's candidate will emerge as the winner.
A year by election, I can confirm, Sesesiano, Ayadia, a year NDC candidate, and then a year, dear, why not just say, all content crime NDC for so, I could send a chin so. Oni onya hodi bio. Ni nyina ne say. Nipa no a wa wen no eye understand mo wa wen ni aba no. Odo so ofri bodomase. Onya hodi bio. It is so person oba aye school fees no over betua. So we are going to win by election, and it has started.
The Electoral Commission has set May 23, 2023 for the Kumewu by-election.
It has been celebrations for supporters of NS Yao Enim after the Electoral Commission declared the results for the parliamentary primaries. For the New Patriotic Party, all is set for the by-election for them, and they are ready to retain the seats. Hafiz Tijani, City News, Kumewu, Ashanti Region.
The Electoral Commission has set May 23, 2023 for the by-elections. This is the first stage for the NPP. They've gone through it successfully, and I think we would give them a thumbs up for ensuring that it was a peaceful exercise that was conducted to elect the parliamentary candidate for the Kumewu constituency going into the by-elections.
And I remember telling you the other day that the manner in which the NPP conducts itself in this particular by-election will send strong signals to their preparedness ahead of the 2024 elections, given the instance that happened at Ayawaso in 2019. And so for me, I'm very happy that they've been able to conduct themselves in a manner that is well commended. And so one, the parliamentary candidate-elect is assuring that he is going to do all he can to ensure that he retains the seat. You may want to argue that, well, Kumewu is a safe seat for the Ashanti, for the NPP, but politics, as you all know, anything is likely to happen. You don't know what happens at the polls on May 23. And so for me, you see how the contenders are actually also saying they are going to support him in his endeavor. We have seen such commitments in the past, but the reality is also something that we want to talk about. And so both parties, the NPP, the NDC, and all parties that are going to be involved in this part, this is a clarion call for them to ensure that they conduct themselves in a manner that is well,
Exactly. We don't want any situation where there will be chaos and all that. Don't want, especially when the IGB has also called the leadership of the NDC and the NPP to have a meeting following the insightful comments that have been made by some actors in the political
Exactly, because the last thing we want to expect in our democracy is
a repetition
of Ayawaso, guns, military people being deployed there, security agencies, just because of a by-election to replace an MP who unfortunately lost their life. It doesn't even bode well for our politics at all, because we've gone past that particular stage era where people will just want to misbehave, do all manner of things just to get to parliament, just to represent the people. It doesn't speak well of us as a country. And then for the Ayawaso instance, it's a crystal clear case for us to end all manner of things when it comes to electoral violence and order. And so I just want to expect the Peace Council and all other stakeholders in the election space to ensure that they begin, educating people, sensitizing people, sending the peace messages around to ensure that we don't experience what we experienced in Ayawaso some years ago. And so on May 23, we are just expecting a free, fair, and credible polls.
Exactly. So congratulations to the New Patriotic Party in the constituency for successful elections that was done there, electing the parliamentary candidate ahead of the Kumewu by-elections. Let's bring you some more stories, and let's take you to the Volta region, where some beaches have been flooded, or the tidal waves have taken over the places following what happened in the area for a very long time, specifically in Anglo. Let's bring you that insight.
Sorts along the coast in the Anoga district and the Keta municipality were not spared in the recent tidal wave erosions that hit a week ago. Owners of those facilities say they've lost investments worth thousands of Ghana cedis. Despite investing in sea defense at some facilities to protect their properties, that couldn't save the situation as their items were washed ashore. We bring you the second part of the climate crisis report filed by my colleague Fred Dool.
The sea right behind me, residential apartments right in front of me. I can describe them basically as remnants of war zone. The impact of the tidal wave or the sea rise has really affected the residents of Fuvemen. Over the period, they've been calling on the state to, as a matter of urgency, come to their aid to build the sea defense wall that will shield them from the impact of tidal wave. Wow, what a good rest I am having at this particular place. And this is what any tourist that is desirous of leaving the fumes and the buzzing nature of the city comes to this particular beach camp known as Paps Beach Camp within this community to take rest from their busy schedule. Now, this entire facility was flooded. Take a look at this video. We've just watched the video. What really was the situation? How devastating was it?
Last Monday, I was sitting with the friends at under the summer hut at Paps Camp, and around 11, the water started coming. I feel like it's something that just that was for some few minutes with before I realized, oh, come on, it's out of control. And before I realized that the whole place got flooded. And the rooms were full. I have to quickly get friends to help me to take the mattress, the bed, everything that is in the room. So I have to take everything before I realized the room, the water level was like this. So, it was very, very terrible.
But did you have visitors, guests, in your premises?
Yeah, so that very day, there wasn't any guests before this thing, okay? There wasn't any guests. So I was so happy for that. There wasn't any guests before this happened.
How much of properties did you lose to this whole flood incident?
This time around, I don't lose much than a previous one that okay. This one, the rooms are affected as well, and some materials of the rooms, and we shall be taking care of later. So let me say, I lose something around 6,000 to 7,000.
You indicate to me that you are a local migrant. By that, you don't live in this community. You only came to set up this beach camp to, as it were, create that sort of congenial environment for people to come and have a feel of the sea, enjoy the breeze, and have fun. How much of an investment did you pump in here? And are you not willing to relocate?
The aim I got before coming here to set up a business here. So I moved around everywhere to set up a business. So I realized that this could be a nice place for me to set up a business, to create a job for the local people. Then, one thing I realized that when people complete junior high school, everybody is crying, rushing, going to the cities to look for a job. I like, no, come on. I've been in the city for so many years. I don't like, no, come on. It's not the best. So if I create a job here, that might give the youth opportunity to, after junior high school, they can get something to base on till their results comes in before they can. Yeah, so that's why I set up a business here. And it's, initially, it wasn't easy, but up to a certain point, everything was, better. And then I employ the workers from this community.
How are you hoping to put yourself together to rebound back?
Yeah, nice question. When things happen like this, you need to give yourself some time to reorganize yourself to move forward. So I'm organizing myself to make a step.
Bundles of woods meant to be precisely used as firewood for burning. And the people of this area are predominantly fisher folks, but they rely heavily on firewood such as this. But what is the source of these firewoods? These are firewood or the roots gotten from the mangroves that are supposed to protect the ecology of this environment. Residents are generally calling for a sea defense wall, saying that the continuous relocation is not a solution to their problems. They are believing that government will hear their cry and respond swiftly. From all indication, government says it was going to allocate some resources to undertake a feasibility studies.
For now, one is confused what is actually the problem. And my prayer is that if government is listening, we want answers. The people of Anglican district, Ketu South, they want answers. For instance, if you go to the Ketu South, the presumption was that they started with phase 1, it's left with phase 2, which is not being done.
Some of the facilities were hit by tidal wave, destroying some of the summer huts made at the beaches for revelers to enjoy their time in Keta.
The climate change is having effects on the sea, the rise. You can see the ocean looks that it is higher than the land. But I can say without any fear of, do I say evocation, that the sand winning in this part of Qatar is becoming alarming and unbearable. That is what I can say. The immediate cause of what is happening here at Jalukopo Lopoji is the sand wind. Yes, they are not using excavators and all this, but in the night, every day.
So this has actually been attributed to sun winning, the issue of climate change, amongst other things. And also the government has made it aware that some sort of sea defense wall has to be constructed. But this, the phase 1 is in the Ketu South constituency. That is Agaveji, Salakope, Amichinu, Adani, Adina, and other communities. I think I follow the Works and Housing Minister Francis Nsubuachi when he visited those places as well. But this is very devastating.
Very disturbing, actually. And in this particular context, looking at the tourism potential of that particular area, we know that some of these things go a long way to affect, livelihoods, especially in villages like what you've just seen. It's going to affect, water transportation, because most of them also rely heavily on water transportation and others. So the whole community, if they're affected by every socio-economic activity, generally comes to a standstill. And if you listen to the man who runs, the lodge over there, you realize that a lot of investment has actually gone into it, and then this particular, overflow of the water, the flooding is actually affecting them. And for me, I'm particularly happy because one of the opinion leaders in the clip that we just saw attributed the situation to sun winning. Look, you can have all the government support, interventions can be made, but if communities do not take, the solutions into their own hands and engage in some other environmental, activities that will affect their own livelihoods, then it really leaves much to be desired. Because even if you look at, the climate change issues that we are talking about, citizens, or there is also that level of, community participation. We cannot take that away from that. When you realize that people are actually building along these particular areas, they are engaging in all manner of activities. You realize that people are building, they just go to the seaside, just go and fetch sand over there. They forget that this particular sand is actually there.
So in as much as climate change is doing this bit, we the citizens or the residents also have to play our role, because we can't keep having this distraction.
Exactly, and having said that, we are just hoping that government will expedite action in completing for the second phase of the sea defense wall.
You're still watching CNR Extra here on CCTV, still to come. Residents who ply the Fofosu Solar Road in the Savannah region want the government to commence immediate repairs on the stretch to prevent the fast-paced deterioration of the road. Stay with us, we'll be back with more stories.
Go above and beyond to give us 5 times the love. Tell us how much your mom means to you and let's HD Plus make it feel like 5 times the star this Mother's Day. From 13th April to 1st May 2023, record and send a 30-second video about how amazing your mom is. Feely to the WhatsApp number 020-0044-420. Your video will compete with other entries to win one of the 65-inch NASCO flat screen TVs with an HD Plus model for mom. HD Plus, the Feely experience.
Welcome back. Now, residents who ply the Fofoso Solar Road want government to immediately repair the stretch. Let's bring you that insight.
Motorists who ply the Fofoso Solar Road in the Savannah region want authorities to commence repair works on the stretch to prevent further deterioration. The road is fast deteriorating because of years of neglect, a situation residents describe as worrying. City News' Savannah regional correspondent Richard Fogor takes a look at the impact of the road and how its deterioration is a major concern to motorists.
The 247.5-kilometer Fofoso Solar Road was commissioned by former President John Dramani Mahama in August 2015 at Larbanga to the relief of many in the Savannah region and beyond. The road provides a link between Wa, the capital of the Upper West region, and Tamale, the capital of the Northern region. The $166 million project, funded by the African Development Bank, also had auxiliary infrastructure added to it. Apart from the construction of the road between Fofoso and Sola, key socio-economic infrastructure such as schools, health centers, clean water, markets, and lorry parks were provided. Access to clean drinking water provided under the project also helped eliminate waterborne diseases such as guinea worm, which was prevalent in the area. But in less than 10 years after its construction, motorists who ply the road are increasingly getting worried over its fast deterioration. While the section between Fofoso and Larbanga can be said to be in a good state, the story is different between Larbanga and Sola. Long stretches of that section of the road are nearly unmotorable. While some portions were washed away by rains, others were caused by the Highways Authority who had prepared the portions for repair works that has not been fulfilled. These portions, numbering over 22, are developing gaping potholes that increase travel time and cause accidents. Amidou Karim is the assembly member for Larbanga and a driver.
But it's not easy. It's not easy for us. It's very difficult for us to watch. Pass the road through Damango, and Larbanga to Damango. It's not easy. I've been getting a lot of flat tires. The cars have been involving what accidents, motorbikes and what, even what, bikes. Those are riding bikes. It's not easy. It's not easy at all.
How long has it been like this between here and then Sola?
Oh, for the past 5 years now.
Wow.
Yes.
What is your wish? What do you think should be done about the road?
We wish if the government was, construct the road for us. Yes. Then that we are suffering. Last week, an accident involved here and 2 people lost their lives. They were heading towards Wa. And that unfortunate, the guy had an accident here and they lost their lives.
Some drivers who ply the road also spoke to City News about the worrying trend.
We see the road. It's been a long time so that they didn't do the work. So as we are just suffering on the road, especially. So it's very bad. It's very bad.
So how does it affect you?
Oh, it's affect us. Even here you are standing, so many cars got accident. Even last 2 weeks, the 2 cars got an accident. They stopped there. Because the road is bad, somebody will be coming from Damongo or Tamale, you will not know that the place water take just the the end of the road. So he will just come and enter behind. So it causes accident a lot of. Even actually this place, especially this place, it causes accidents a lot. So please, I beg you, if you can help, so that the road will be good for us, will be safely. So all our ties is even not good. So sometimes you have to help us. You are the government, so you have to do something so that you help us.
See the road break. The stone day will be like that. It spoil their cars.
They spoil your cars?
Yes. I want the road correct.
This is a portion of the famous Sola Fufulsu Road, commissioned by former President John Dramani Mahama in 2016. This very spot claimed the lives of 2 people a couple of weeks ago in an accident, one of whom a student of the Damango College of Agriculture. There are over 21 of these spots between Larbanga and Sola. The bad nature of the road, according to motorists, is having a toll on their businesses and vehicles. They are calling on government for urgent attention. From the Larbanga Sola portion of the Fufulsu Sora Road,
Road project or constructing roads are very important in every community, every town, every city, every country. And from what we saw in the report, I think the beginning of the report told us how the road looked like when it was commissioned. But the subsequent, you saw how the road looked like after a few years. But this talks about maintenance.
Exactly the point. Maintenance. So I think for us as a country, we have not really prioritize the maintenance of road projects seriously, and we have not taken it seriously actually. And for me, this particular road in question brings to mind the number of times we've not heard it in our budget when finance minister goes to parliament to update us on the number of infrastructural development that they are undertaking. And if you look at this particular report, you realize that ever since, I will not be wrong if I say that ever since the road was constructed, there has been no maintenance.
Well, we can't tell.
We can't say for sure, but I'm just saying that I will not be far from right.
There may have been some maintenance, but maybe not as regular as it should be. Yeah.
And for me, I realized that when there's a component, the time we were taking road tools, there was a component that has to do with, maintenance of road. And for every project, there must always be plans to ensure that there is maintenance afterwards, because a number of people ply this particular road. A lot of, socio-economic activities go on over there, and people rely heavily on, road transport in that part of the country to ensure that they are able to go about their normal activities. And so if residents are complaining, it's not even good for their health, the level of dust on the road, the difficulties you face
I'm reading from the page of the Africa Development Bank Group, that is the
institution that gave the loan for this particular
They have
project.
stated here the status of the road is completion. So that means in this case it's been completed. And in here, so they aim at constructing the 147.5 kilometer of road between the Fufulsu and Sola, as well as key social economic infrastructure. The upgrading of the road will specifically enhance regional integration and cooperation between Ghana and its northern neighbors by facilitating cross-border international traffic, especially towards Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. So that tells you that it's a very important road, and much attention has to be given to this road for the maintenance.
Talking about, regional integration and how, it facilitates, how people from our neighbors in the north also use the road to ensure that they're able to cut some goods, essential goods for us here in Ghana.
But still on roads, President Akufo-Addo has reiterated government's commitment to fix the deplorable road and infrastructure of Sefi Rioso. Let's bring you that insight.
President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has reiterated government's commitment to fix the deplorable road infrastructure at Rioso, the capital of the Western North region, by close of year. He made this known when he addressed congregants of Rioso Diocese of the Catholic Church during an episcopal ordination and installation of Most Reverend Samuel Nkumbuate as a bishop. Western North Regional correspondent Stanley Wedi has more in this report.
Road infrastructure in the Western North region is generally not the best, a situation residents and commuters have had cause to complain of. Ironically, the region hosts some of the nation's economically viable natural resources such as gold, bauxite, cocoa, timber, amongst others. Although some of the roads are being phased, that of Rioso and Junase is yet to receive the needed attention. Speaking at the Episcopal ordination and installation of Most Reverend Samuel Nkumbuate as the second bishop for the Rioso Diocese of the Roman Catholic Church, President of
Rioso, of governments work will begin soon on the stabilized base works and surfacing. The Ministry of Roads and Highways has assured me that the Rioso town roads will be completed by the end of this year.
Some residents of Rioso have been reacting to the president's statement.
It's quite unfortunate that we use this road to go to hospital, a regional hospital, and I've been a victim. Just imagine you are using this road and you are pregnant. You can have a miscarriage, or better not, you can give birth in the car. I use this road to go to my church. Always there will be potholes. It's very, very bad. In fact, it's very, very bad. It's not helping a region as Rioso, so it's very bad. It's very bad. It needs immediate effect. They need to fix it.
Actually, I wish it has been done as early as possible, because looking at this road, it is a route to the hospital. And you see, these things are very dangerous. Most people who are from the villages use this route. The pregnant women and others, they must be given, the road must be fixed so that immediate attention can be given to them.
Obi be ni ti kura mpo a watin futu ntimi mma ebetire na nsa akọwa no enti ye de mpaebo ene akonkyere beboa no so onye ye kwan no ma ye na kwan de yewu ye ntimi ntana ha
masa hwe kwan da ha from here to akontono kwan ya da ha kakra kro no nyina kwan ye ye twatima ye twabode nima bebre na efefiri aso ya kwan bakobako nye wo firi bre mu nyina nkwa obi atwam yarefo obi wo de masa hwe be bia ejina yi she say be a Juma Yana, Yatasa Tuanano, Yanyaso Faso. Tis Oba and the Ayastrano, almost so Bashayakwan, Yamaya, Senabaya, you don't know a man so who I met my was.
So it's obvious that from how the residents of Rioso are speaking, they want the roads fixed immediately. And the president has given his assurance that, well, government is going to work assiduously to fix the road. And again, fixing of the road moves beyond that, but the maintenance is what is also very important.
I just hope that this president's commitment to assurance is not a mere rhetoric.
It should be done.
It should be done, because the road debate continues in this country. Remember when President Akufo-Addo delivered a State of the Nation's address and said that his government is peerless when it comes to the construction of roads in the country. The NDC said, no, that's not the case, forcing government to go and release a list of, road projects that have been completed and some others that are still under construction in the country. But, roads conversations on roads will always remain topical in our politics. It always comes up when, a comparative analysis of, government achievements has always been done. And for me, The problem is that governments will say, well, a lot of the monies they've borrowed has actually gone into road
the construction of roads.
But we have not seen it.
Exactly. So with this, we are hoping that, well, the promise that have been made by the president, he has made some promises concerning the fixing of roads in the Sitio area. You are still watching CNR Extra here, still to come. President Akufo-Addo leads government delegation to celebrate Chief Imam's 104th birthday. Stay with us, we'll be back with that story.
Sure say your hospital go up if you hear the filler way I get for your dog.
I still have your underwear in my office drawer.
I could never imagine you would end up being my stepmother.
Anybody with the capacity to give you great joy can also bring you insufferable pain.
Welcome back. And President Akufo-Addo led a delegation to celebrate the Chief Imam's 104th birthday. Let's bring you that insight.
Akufo-Addo on Sunday led a delegation of government officials to the residence of the National Chief Imam to celebrate his 104th birthday with him. Born in 1919, Sheikh Usman Nuhu Sharbatu became Chief Imam in the 90s and has since remained so. City News' Sami Riafe has more.
Accompanied by the First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo, the Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, and some government officials, Nana Akufo-Addo says the National Chief Imam has become a symbol of peace and a blessing to the country. Nana Addo says the National Chief Imam has contributed significantly to the peace and stability of the country and must be recognized. The Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia spoke on behalf of the President.
Knowing the National Chief Imam is that he is a gift from God to Ghana and to the Muslim Ummah as well. We are so fortunate that Allah has given him to us. We owe a lot in terms of the peace and tolerance in this country to him, the National Chief Imam. Ghana is the most peaceful country in West Africa and the second most peaceful country in the whole of Africa. We should not take it for granted. It is a blessing from Allah. Because when you look at the countries around us, you see that there is a lot of tension in many of those countries. This is not the same in many countries. And so we should not take it for granted. It is happening because of people like the National Chief Imam.
The National Chief Imam, on his part, thanked the President for his visit and prayed for him and the country.
The favors that Allah has bestowed on us. Yesterday we did the Eid al-Fitr, and now today too we are celebrating 104th years of my life. All this, the foundation is on thankfulness for the peace that we enjoy. Then we can see, experience, hoping that Allah will increase the favors. The Prophet ﷺ has said, now continue to supplicate and invoke Allah. Now, if you ask him, don't be doubtful. about the acceptance of your prayer. Now be certain in your mind that Allah will receive and accept your prayer. Therefore, everything that Your Excellency you have asked for on my behalf, including the peace, we pray that Allah will bring it to fruition. May Allah add more of our harmony. Nana Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, and then the Vice President, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, may Allah help them. May Allah fulfill your wishes and your expectations. May Allah give us peace. May Allah make us live in peace and harmony. May Allah help all of you. Ameen.
And of course, we say belated happy birthday wishes to the National Chief Imam. 104. He's blessed by Allah. 1919.
A great sign of blessing.
1919. What? 1919.
Yes.
Oh, Charlie. That's when he was born. Interesting. 1919.
And I just want to believe it's because of this is a true reflection of his role in national cohesion, peace, and some form of development in the country. No two ways about it. There is no doubt that the National Chief Imam, as we have always known him to be, has
very
played
peaceful
a significant role in ensuring peace in the country. I remember times that he's called Muslims youth to order. He's also advocated in some national discourses and order. And so for him to achieve this particular milestone is a sign of great blessing. And I'm very happy that President Akufo-Addo and the Vice President have all gone there to extend, their felicitations to him. Exactly. And so
to celebrate
with him and all that. And it sends strong signal. This is what we expect of our religious leaders in the country. We know that the National Chief Imam, when it comes to some of these things, he's there. And so if other religious leaders are watching, they should also try as much as possible to be advocates of peace in the country. Because, look, we don't want a situation where religious leaders will be the conduit for violence and all that. That's not what is expected of them. This is a secular state, and we expect that religion will always thrive when it comes to, our normal day-to-day activity. And so we want to say that happy birthday to the National Chief Imam. We want to continue wishing him God's blessings and ensure that he's able to live to see the Ghana he wants us to, all experience.
And as the Vice President also stated, this is the sign of peace, and like you indicated, everybody must ensure that we have a peaceful country. We have only one country, like we always state here, and it has to be a very peaceful one. This is how we end the holiday edition of CNR Extra here on City TV. My name is Philip Nilati. I did this with me, Lati. Many thanks for your time, and keep watching City TV as you enjoy your holiday.